Right behind me, I've got the 2027 Honda HR-V EXL. If you guys are new here, my name is Jason and I do reviews just like this here in Canada. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the different models that you can get with the Honda HR-Vs, the engine specs, the safety features you do get with the EXL model, the exterior, the interior, the infotainment system, and of course the pricing. Also, thank you to Performance Honda here in Brampton for allowing me to review this HR-V EXL. All right, let's start things off in the front of the EXL model here, and these things look pretty unique. So on the front here, you do have a ton of gloss black that stretches across the whole front, and you also have like this little pocket in the corner, which is a actual functional vent. And even down here, you kind of have like this lower open section. There's also the front safety sensors that run across, and then you get into your unique looking grille area. This is also in gloss black, and I like the openings and everything on this. And up top here, you do have the Honda badge in chrome, and then you have these nice looking LED front lights, very unique with the LED strip at the bottom, and then of course your usual lights right above that. And taking a step back, you can see this thing kind of reminds me of a shark. Now, as for what powers the HR-V here, this does have the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine, which makes 158 horsepower and 138 pound-foot of torque. Fuel economy, you're looking at about 9.5 liters in the city and about 7.8 liters on the highway. So coming to the side of the HR-V here, you can see the shape of this, the size of this, and just the body lines overall. And then up top here, this does have the power sunroof. Now around your windows, you do have the usual black rubber at the bottom, but up here you have the gloss, and even in the center here. And then you do have the body color door handles, and same thing for the side mirrors. So the cap up here is body color. You got the black plastic there, and then your indicators built in. And I also like on the EXL here how around here and along the bottom, pretty much the bottom portion of the vehicle, you have gloss black trimming everywhere. And then you can't forget about these very cool looking gloss black and aluminum wheels. And these are your 18-inch wheels. And if I do take a step back, you can see they fit the HR-V, I think, perfectly. Okay, coming around to the rear of the HR-V, the nice looks, I think, continue. Now, over on the bumper here, it is a little different back here because you do have this gray trimming along the bottom, and then, of course, the gloss black. There's also the rear safety sensors and your reflectors at the back. Now, on the tailgate, you do have the chrome HR-V, the Honda badge. It also says all-wheel drive up here, and then are these nice looking rear LED taillights. Again, I like the little strip that goes around at the bottom, and yeah, these lights are definitely nice looking. Also up top here, you do have kind of like this built-in spoiler with your brake light. All right, let's go ahead and open up the tailgate here. So there's the button right there, and this is not a power opening liftgate as you just saw. So it is manual. So that's the only downside I would say. But look at the space that you get back here. Considering the size of this vehicle, there is a good amount of space back here for all your family road trips, your stuff, whatever it is. And I also like how the corners here, so on the left and on the right, they extend inwards. And also lifting up the carpet area from the side here, you have some space here, and lifting it even more, you have a tiny bit room there as well. Also back here, you're going to find obviously your lights on both of the sides, and then also is the 12-volt outlet. All right, let's enter inside and see what this EXL has to offer. So it's an all black interior, but there are bits and pieces that do stand out. First off, on the plastic trimming here, you do have these nice lines and everything, and it is textured. You have a water bottle area, a small speaker here, and a tiny one up here. And then you do have soft touch material here with the contrast stitching. And then here is just the plastic, and even here, you have gloss black trimming that stretches across. All right, let's check out the interior. So this is an all black interior, as you can see, and I do like the contrast stitching everywhere. Plus you kind of have like the perforated bottom and back sections. Now in the center where you usually find the cup holder area when you do drop it down, this one does not have that. And really back here, I think you can fit 2 adults comfortably rather than having another person squished in the middle, but you can if there are 3 kids back here, I guess. Now I'm gonna jump back here and show you the legroom and the headroom in this. All right, entering inside, legroom wise, it's not all that bad considering, again, the size of this vehicle, and I'm sure the driver's seat can be adjusted, but still I have a good amount of legroom. Now in terms of the headroom, I have a good amount of headroom, and that's because this whole area goes into the roofline. I'm wearing a hat. For reference, I'm 5'11", and I have loads and loads of headroom, as you can see. Now behind the driver and the passenger seat, I do like how there's no plastic, it's all soft touch. However, on the driver's side, you don't have the storage pocket. but on the passenger side, you do have one. Now over on the rear console, there's not a whole lot going on other than of course just some space here, and that's about it. All right, let's head to the front and see if anything is different compared to the rear. The only thing I can notice up here is you do have 2 spots down here. You still got the speaker, but not the little one up here, and everything else is identical other than of course your window controls and your side mirror controls. Now for the front seats here, these are exactly like the rear, other than some sections like here where the stitching, it is a bit different. You still have the perforated back bottom sections, the contrast stitching. The front seats do come heated. Now over on the side here, you do have your power seat adjustments, and then hidden away in the corner right here is where your hood latch release is. And then moving up here, you have a tiny bit of room here. You've got your wiper, defroster, and then your traction control. Even the venting on this is pretty unique because you do have like this honeycomb style going on. And then as for the steering wheel, this does come manual adjustable. All right, entering inside, your whole dashboard is pretty unique because you do have like soft touch material everywhere, and you do have a little speaker here in the corner, in the center, and one on the other side. And then you get into your digital cluster area. Well, it's not a full digital cluster because only this is a screen, and this little screen here is a 7-inch cluster area. But on here you can view a ton of different vehicle information, and to control all of that, it is done through these 2 buttons here. So if I just press down, or if I press home for a second, 1 second, press it again, there you are. So I can go through all of this here and view whatever I want to view in front of me. But yeah, there's a ton of information, and some of the menus will have even more things within it. And then as for the steering wheel, this is soft touch material. It does have contrast stitching. This is also heated, which is nice. And then you have gloss black pretty much everywhere, and then this gray trimming down here and the chrome Honda badge. On the left here you have your seat controls, volume controls, cluster controls, and then the Bluetooth. And then the other side you do have your cruise control settings, follow distance, lane keep, and all of that. And then down here is where you'll find your heated steering wheel button. And then behind you do have your exterior lighting controls, high beams, and indicators. And then on the other side you do have your front and rear wiper controls. Now over on the center armrest, you got soft touch material here, and opening this up you do have a decent amount of space in here. And then you move to the center console area. First off, you do have space down here as well. So you do have the USB port here as well, and you can definitely put your phone or something that you're charging here, which is pretty good. And then up here, kind of like this floating area, you do have your brake hold, electronic parking brake, hill descent control, and then your different drive modes. And then is your handy dandy shifter. And up here, you do have your cup holders obviously, and then further up, you do have your wireless phone charger along with 2 USB ports. And then above that, you have all your heating and cooling temperature controls, including the heated seats for the front. And again, look at how nice the venting looks on this, nice and sleek and thin, and just the designing is pretty cool. And then you get into your touchscreen, and this is a 9-inch touchscreen. And on here, you can obviously view a ton of different information, and I just like how easy it is to use. So on your homepage, which this is right now, you have your audio section, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, general settings, and the phone section as well. And that's pretty much it, because if you just go to the general settings, this is where you're gonna find everything about the vehicle, so you can fine tune all of this, and that's it. Other than that, you just have this connect button right here for your phone. So yeah, very, very simple and easy to use. And to see the cameras on this, well, it only has a backup camera, but still, let me show you the reverse camera. So that's what that looks like. So you kind of have like a wider view. If I click it here, you get like a narrower view, and then you have the top down view as well. Now moving further up, underneath your rear view mirror, you do have your on off button for the dimmer. And then moving further up here, you have your interior light controls and then your sunroof control. And here's the key fob for the EXL. It's your usual Honda key. All right, let's come around to the passenger side and let me show you what this looks like. So here's another look of that nice vent. And other than that, you just have your usual glove compartment space. And here are the different models that you can get when it comes to the Honda HR-Vs. And for the safety features, here is a list of the safety features that do come with the EXL model. Now for the pricing, if you build this out online, it's about $48,500 Canadian. Well, that does it for the review on this 2027 Honda HR-V EXL. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of this?